show you a make right away. Give me 1 second. Pro streamer here. All right. Good evening. Welcome to everyone. My name is Liz, aka pezliz, and this is Imprinting Color. Imprinting Color is normally just a show where I get very excited about Polymaker filament and share it with everyone, share things that I'm printing with it, and methods to print and all these sorts of things. But I would say over the course of the summer, we got to know, it's been a bigger build-up, but over the course of the summer, we got to know a new designer, and I was very curious to know their story. And so I asked Jacob, aka the Kit Kiln, if he'd like to come in and have a chat. And what better opportunity to talk to you than during an Imprinting Color. So Imprinting Color is a show that Polymaker sponsors, and I do it every Wednesday. And so this is a fun and exciting way. So without further ado, welcome in, Jacob, and introduce yourself. Let us know about you.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I think as many as you know, my name's Jacob. I've been 3D printing since like the end of 2019, so a little while now. And yeah, I just came on Thangs like about 8 months ago. I think in February, I came on Thangs. I've been designing for a while before then. But yeah, it's been super fun to get to know people and build a community and just see everybody who's excited about 3D printing. It's a party. 3D printing, I'm convinced that 3D printing is the best hobby in the world, and I would be hard to be convinced otherwise. Just the people and how fun it is, you know. Anyways, I'm excited to be here.
All right. So you said you started in 2019. So you were like just ahead of the world shutting down and everything. So
right, yeah.
What was your first printer, and what was your first experience, and what happened there?
Yeah. So I was in school. So I studied mechanical engineering in school. I was in like the middle of my junior year when COVID hit, and right about the exact time COVID hit is when I bought like supplies to build my first printer. I had a school buddy who he ordered like one of those like AliExpress kits, you know, they were like $200, and it was like an i3 clone of like a Prusa, you know. And I will never forget when we built that, like seeing it lay down filament for the first time, and like seeing it do like a rectilinear infill or something super simple, and just like it was like a little box or something, you know, probably a calibration cube or something. But we were pumped, and it was awesome. And I'm pretty sure I've been an addict since, you know, that was day one.
Yeah.
So
when did you start designing?
You know, in school I learned to design a little bit. I think most of my designing though started like when I first built my 3D printer. So shortly after we put that one together for him, like I like the next night or something, I started ordering parts to build my own like Prusa clone. So the first one I built, I can actually share. Let me share a picture of it real quick. Can you see it?
Yep. Here we go.
Sweet. So this was the first one I built. This is actually like version 2 of it. The first version was like plate aluminum that like I cut out in school on like a CNC, and it was like a straight like Prusa i3 MK3 clone. The first one I built, and then I built this kind of like with a bare frame, like the extruded aluminum. This is a 300 by 300 bed, and the height was probably like 250. So similar to a Prusa, but a little bit bigger in X and Y. But it was a bed slinger, super heavy. It had like mechanical end stops and like an inductive probe, so there wasn't like a load cell in the extruder, so it couldn't like tap the bed. It had like springs on the corners, but it didn't have auto bed leveling at first.
The horrors.
So I remember doing like the paper under the nozzle, you know, trying to get it like to feel the same everywhere on the bed. Yeah, kind of a disaster. Anyway, so that was the first printer, and then I just kind of upgraded that printer and made it huge. So it ended up being like like 300 by 300, which is like a foot by a foot, and then it was like a foot and a half tall. So it was huge. It was fun. It was a monster. I printed some sweet stuff. I printed like some helmets for my nephew and like for some people who wanted it on like Facebook, you know. Anyway, so that's how I got started. And then I probably had that printer for like maybe a year, probably a little bit less. And then I eventually sold it and bought a Prusa MK3S Plus. And then that was my printer for like 2 or 3 years until the MK4 came out, and then I immediately sold the MK3 and bought 2 of those.
Oh wow!
And then I had that for I had those 2 for like a year, and those 2 were kind of like my, I don't know how to describe it, like my entrepreneurial printers. I started kind of branching out and like using them to try to like I ran like an Etsy shop for a little bit. I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
Am I still sharing? Oh, I am. Okay.
Yeah.
I ran like an Etsy shop for a little bit, and I sold like plant pots and like bookends. And then kind of also during this time too, like I started exploring like sharing my designs, just like openly for free on printables. So I started competing in like the printables contests. You know, they have like their weekly contests or like bi-weekly contests. So like, I don't know if any of you ever saw this Zen garden up on printables. I designed that.
Yep.
That was in one of the contests, as well as this Ferris wheel planter. I was also in like one of the contests a few years ago. Anyway, so it was super fun. And that just kind of went on for a while. And then as I was doing Etsy and kind of making those plant pots, and I had just finished school, so I was done with school and I was working full time and just kind of doing that Etsy on the side, whatever. I revisited a design that I had touched like years ago. So when I very first started, I designed this guy. My very first big brick design, as I later called them, was like in probably early 2020. And it was this model right here. It was a single color, you know, single extruder. I don't think it required supports the first time I designed it. But then at the end of like 2023, so about a year ago, I kind of revisited the design and thought, oh, hey, man, maybe I'll touch on that again. Because there was a contest on printables at the time that was like jointed figures, I believe.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I had the design on deck. So I kind of just polished it up, reprinted it, made sure it worked and was like decent for people to put together, you know, and posted it. And it started doing really well in the contest. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make another one. So I busted out a Darth Vader model as well, really quick in the contest. And they both did good. I think one of them got like an honorable mention or something like that. But it was super fun to see people get like really excited about them, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
People were super engaged and like immediately it got traction a lot quicker than like my other designs had. The other ones had good stuff, but kind of took time to build. These were like immediately people were like, "Whoa, these are sweet. Let's do more of these," you know. And so I did a couple more after that. I think I did Boba Fett. Let's get a picture. My dog picture. This is both Boba Fett's. I did Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and then I think I did the Mandalorian. That was also like a single color.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day somebody shared, they had like used their bamboo to paint the Boba Fett model. And it was like a completely different model. It looked, you know, it was way cooler. It looked so much realer. So much more real. But at that point in time, I didn't have a bamboo and I didn't have the MMU for the Prusa. And I was cheap. So I was like, I'm not going to buy that to paint this, but I want it. So I thought to myself, okay, fine. I can probably break them out and make them like multicolored parts that all just fit together. So at first, I don't think I like had the idea of like, I'm going to do no MS, no supports, no glue, and it's all just going to work. I was just like, let's just break it out because I want to make it in color like that guy did, you know?
Yeah.
So then the next one I did was the Stormtrooper, I think, which that was like my very first one where it was all broken out into the black and white and it all assembled. And and then all got put together. And then it just kind of went from there. You know, I did just different models, and went back and I updated like the Boba Fett and Darth Vader and Mandalorian and made them multicolor, you know. And I guess the main reason like for the way I do things, and I think it's kind of now become kind of like my calling card, I guess, is like, I personally hate supports. I hate like having to clean off supports from the bottom of a print, you know. I think it makes the surfaces not look good, but also it's just like kind of a pain, you know, and it wastes a ton of material. So I thought, you know, if you can get around it, why would you not take a little bit of extra time, like on the designing side, you know, to save from wasting material. So that's the reason for that. And then I just, glue too. I guess I just don't like working with glue if I don't have to. I feel like most of the time go ahead.
Yeah, it's all those little things that prevents people from printing things. It dissuades people from, you know, doing a project. A lot of people are, you know, it's their hobby, but to add extra steps onto things, it just becomes so I that's what I really like about your designs too, is you do not need glue. So you somehow you were designing and things. How did you end up on Thangs as big bricks?
Right. So I was on printables, and I think I ended up making like 6 or 7 models total there. And I had started, after I had done a few of them, I thought, this is actually right about the time when printables kind of launched their like clubs. They started launching clubs and exclusive models. So I thought, why not? You know, I'm doing this Etsy thing on the side. Why don't I just try these clubs? You know, if it works out and it's fun, it might be a different way to kind of, you know, it's fueling the hobby, you know, having some extra money to do more 3D printing stuff, because I love it, you know. So I opened up a shop on printables, and I had that going for maybe a few weeks, and I had like 2 or 3 subscribers. Some of the OG people might be here. I know they're in my Discord. It didn't pick up very fast, but then I got contacted by somebody who actually, he no longer works at Thangs, but somebody who worked at Thangs at the time. And he just invited me. He said, hey, why don't you host your stuff on Thangs? You know, we have this thing going on where for designers who want to be exclusive on Thangs, and he gave me the rundown, and I thought, why not? It was kind of, I almost ignored it because he reached out to me through LinkedIn, which I thought was strange.
Okay.
Like Printables has a messaging system, but he didn't message me on there. He like reached out through LinkedIn, so I almost just deleted it, because I always just delete messages on LinkedIn anyway.
Yeah.
But I thought, why not? So I hopped on a call with him, and he explained, and I thought, okay, let's go for it. And it just kind of blew up from there. Honestly, the traction it got on Thangs was amazingly surprising to me. How quickly it grew on Thangs. It was exponential compared to printables. And it just took off. So I started entering like the contests on Thangs, and then trying to release models like weekly, and it went really good. It blew up pretty quick.
Yeah, excellent. And so I said that we are going to talk about this a little bit. You went from being big bricks to the Kit Kiln, and that happened this summer, right? Yeah. Okay. So I guess let's talk about that a little bit, and then we can go back into community, because I think that's a huge thing for you.
Totally. So at the height of like the big brick time, I was releasing probably at least a model a week. Most of them, or a lot of them, were free, and I started releasing more and more premium ones. And I had a free model that was in one of the contests. I think it was like the Thor model, and it was trending, so it was up on the front page. And then all of a sudden one night it was gone. And then I went to like my models, and I noticed that it had been like changed to private. So that's weird. So I made it public again, and it reappeared. And then one of the employees of Thangs that I now talk to frequently, he reached out to me, and he said, hey, there's a certain company that let us know that they just wanted that model to be taken down from the front page. So we took it down. He's just saying, I just want to let you know that's where that's at. Nothing else has come of it, but we'll let you know. And nothing else did come from it. I never received like a cease and desist from that company. I never received any notification from them or any, nothing ever happened of it. But just from that small interaction and realizing that it might not be something that they want super public, or they might not want it to be continuing, I thought it would be better to not continue making those, not designing those out of respect for them. Obviously, those designs, those brick designs, I love them. I played with bricks as a kid. I watched Star Wars growing up. I love those things, and that's what fueled me making those. And I knew that other people were in the same boat. But just because they reached out, I figured it was probably better that I leave it alone and not step on anybody's toes, and not disrespect anybody in their and the things that they've made.
Yeah. So then you went from that's what caused the name change too.
Yeah, that was like the fuel for pivoting. And to be honest, my wife and I had discussed, leading up to that point, that was always going to be a potential. So kind of leading up before then, I had been, mentally exploring other options and other things that we might be able to do. And I have to give a big shout out to, first my wife for just being patient and going along with this with me. There's been a lot of late nights. There's been a lot of nights that we haven't been able to have time that I've been designing or been printing, which selfishly has been enjoyable for me because I love printing.
Yeah.
But huge shout out to her. And then to my Discord community. Going from Big Bricks to Kit Kiln 100% would not have been possible without the people in my Discord giving me feedback, just supporting me. There were so many people who said, "Hey, we're here through whatever you go through next. We want to support you. We want to help you. We love your designs that you've made. So we're here, whatever happens, And so I can't thank you enough.
You were definitely the topic of a lot of. I help run Maker Deck, which is a channel of 24/7 makers. And of course, a lot of times people will be printing big bricks and really excited about that. And there were a lot of evening conversations during that whole transition period of, Big Bricks to Kit Kiln. Just trying to making sure they, there was a point where you had everyone download their model, download different files, and then they were going to be unavailable for the people that were supporters and everything. So yeah, there was a lot of discussion, and then people were really excited when, of course, you came out with Kit Kiln. And for me, I think I remember one of the first things that I saw popping up was the Batmobile. And sorry for the sirens, can't help it. Live in a city. Oh, no. But was the Batmobile, and I definitely, it was my friend Glendon printed it, and I think he posted as a make. Stephen Poole, other people, and that's actually, I love Star Wars. I'm a huge, unapologetic fan of Star Wars. So the Star Wars things really attracted me, but seeing that, I said, how is, what's it like to put this together? And I saw everything laid out on the build plates, and my friends know that I might not always be the most good at, inclined at putting things together. I've test printed a lot of things for Fix 'em Dude, and a lot of those were his kit cards. And so he always found it very interesting with how things turned out, whether it was things backwards, upside down, inside out. I did actually have to reprint a piece of the, that's why it's not built. I had to reprint a piece of the X-Wing. We won't talk about that, but I am pretty good at following, but I found that your directions were really clear. And like we said, not everybody has MMU or multicolor printing available to them, but they do have the ability to, to switch out filaments, swap out filaments and stuff. Before I started with all my bamboos, my Nick from Polymaker, actually, he named me the color swap queen, because I was always I created a few models too, but I was always experimenting with color swaps. So like my little butterfly here, that's just a couple color swaps. Yeah. Totally. And I've discovered that the difference between painting and color swaps can be hours at times.
Oh yeah.
You know, but also with the build plates, having the separate build plates or having, you know, this is, and also them labeled, you know, for the color and everything. It's really helpful to getting things printed. So from the bricks, or what are we calling these now? The chunks, right?
Yeah.
What's the formal name for them now?
Chunkables. Yeah.
The chunkables. So this is a beautiful chunkable. This is of course the Storm Chunker. I took artistic license, and this is in the silk Pezriwinkle. If you purchase from Polymaker, this is a color. It's silk periwinkle that I lobbied to have for a long time. So on the website for Polymaker, it does say Pezriwinkle. But so these are fantastic. But I love them. But it's actually your vehicles and these that I'm super attracted to, which surprised me because I usually like just printing. You know, I love printing all the fun things, but having something that turns itself into a project, and for me, all the different colors and stuff. So if anyone that's new to Kit Kiln, all of these parts are actually individually printed, and everything snaps into place. So how did you start doing that? What was the process for building the kits, as opposed to, you know, having someone lay down put something on a build plate and have it all sort of printed together and have to, like we said, with the glue and all those sorts of things.
Right. I mean, again, it was definitely partially because I didn't have a multi-material unit at that time, you know, on my Prusa, and I didn't have a bamboo yet. But even after, so I mean, you can see behind me, I have 2 bamboos. I no longer have my Prusas, which I thought I would never say. But even once I got those, I still don't know if I've printed more than, like, seriously, I've had them for 10 months. I don't know if I've printed, or 8 months. I don't know if I've printed more than like 1 or 2 things that truly were multi-material with them that whole time I've had them. I think I've been really impressed with Bamboo and what they've done as a company, just how fast they've grown, and how I feel like they've brought 3D printing to a lot of people who were not able to access it before, which has been amazing. It's become less of a hobby in terms of like the actual printer. Maintaining the printer has become less of a hobby, and printing things has been able to become more of a hobby for people who want that to be, which is awesome. But I also think something with their machines has been like a little bit less care for like material usage, and like being efficient with things and finding the best way to do things. Instead, it's been how can we get the most aesthetically pleasing model, which is great, but I don't think you have to sacrifice the first for the former for the latter.
And that's one of the big things that people have is the waste. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out ways to mitigate waste. I do like to print multicolored things. I actually find that I use my A1 Mini for my multicolored prints because the AMS light is so much easier for me to manage. The waste, I can see it. It's not behind my printer. I can see the waste, and I also don't. Then I print smaller than maybe I'd like to. But yeah, there are all different things. That's actually something that I do cover on this channel. Like I talk a lot about using I use a lot of fidget cubes, so I purge into that. I do do things like that. There's all sorts of ways, but yeah, when you have all of these parts that just sort of slide together. So what were hiccups that you had along the way in doing these sorts of models?
Right. I mean, the biggest had just been tolerances. I mean, you can imagine, right? People are printing on any kind of printer. So from like an Ender 2 or like a super early Ender printer to like Bamboo X1s or Flash Forge, their new printers, or like the Create. People are printing on any type of printer, and so just accounting. And they're also using any type of material. And within the printers, they're printing with any settings across the board. That's also another thing that I would say that's been difficult, like with Bamboo. A huge thing Bamboo has pushed is, hey, watch how fast we can print. We can print this model. We can print it in half the time the Prusa does, which is great. But it's also great, it's okay for the multi-material single body prints that aren't necessarily going to be mated with other objects.
Yes.
But when somebody uses the 300 millimeter per second profile on my stuff, it can cause issues. So mix that with the filament they're using, and it can create issues. So I've tried my best to give people, over time I've learned this, right? I've tried my best to give people filament choices that I know are going to work good, to give people profiles that I use on my Bamboo machines.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just tell everybody else, if you're not using a Core XY machine with input shaping, and it can handle speeds, just do less. Do less than what I do. Do this or less, and you should be good as far as that will go. So that's been the biggest issue, is just tolerances.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's been a ton of small things here and there with, finding what models people want the most, and just being able to, stay up with desire for models, and staying on top of. There's so much that's come outside of just the modeling and the producing stuff for people. It's taking pictures, it's having a space to do it in, it's taking videos. I never use social media outside of my now Instagram page I have for this. Figuring that out. There's been a ton of stuff, but it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah, I dragged you onto Twitch now.
So. Right, and now I'm on here. Now I can't ever leave. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, we have this whole world. It's really funny because both Polar and Overture Filament, I forced them to get Twitter accounts, or X, or whatever you call it. Nice. So I'm that's the type of influence I have. I put all the pressure on people. No, we have fun here. But yeah, I agree with Bamboo. A lot of people, it's how fast can I print this? Right. And immediately I saw quality go down. And also when you're printing things like silk, you are going to have so many variations in your print, depending on the speed of the shape that you're printing in. This is actually a zombie tune profile. Zombie Hedgehog is my co-host on Mondays, and he actually has profiles that he makes available for people. And the big thing with a lot of them is that they're very slowed down. He slows things down, and you're still going to get a print faster than you would have on your Dusty Ender in the corner. But it's very important to think about the quality of what you're printing. So totally. One thing, of course, as we mentioned, this show is sponsored by Polymaker. Polymaker, I have a giveaway for Polymaker filament in chat right now. It's !ticket. So we'll do a few of these this evening. And I will set the timer for a couple minutes. Let me see. I'm going to mute myself while I do that so I don't set off everyone's Google. So that's our first Polymaker giveaway. Will be in 10 minutes. So while we're of course waiting for that, everybody's banging ticket, all these things. Let's talk about I think it is your favorite filament ever, right? So let's talk about that.
Definitely. Yeah. So I think the very first time I used a Polymaker filament was their muted green, when I was doing the Etsy store with the plant pots I showed you before.
Yep.
I was just on Amazon on the hunt for a good olive looking color.
Yes.
I'm low-key obsessed with olive. anything that I can get in like a nice olive color, I'm all for it. So when I found
Muted
that,
green.
Right, yeah, it's fantastic, beautiful.
This is
color.
Wexter's reindeer in muted green, but it's a beautiful color. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I picked it up for a plant pot, and then the very first time I printed it, I was blown away. I also am just in love with things that are matte. I'm not like a massive fan of shiny filaments. So when it printed it, when I printed the very first time, it came out. It was matte. The color was on point, and like the print quality overall was just very. It just like the little things, like the top layer, it didn't have a lot of like lines on it compared to other filaments that might be the exact same settings on my same machine. That the lines show up more. Just adhesion overall. Stringing was great, meaning minimal. I don't know. I was obsessed from the very beginning, and then especially when I started doing these kits, I realized very quickly that matte filament is much more forgiving in terms of like friction than other filaments. So like silks are that's been one of the biggest pains. Like when I've released models like the Armor with her kind of like bronzy goldish outfit. I had to use a silk for that, and I know multiple other people did, or like C3PO. I know a lot of people use silk for that. So like I immediately be getting people chatting, hey, why in the world won't this fit together? All the other ones fit. What's going on? So yeah, it's just kind of it's become my go-to is the Polymaker Polyterra, specifically Polyterra.
Yes. So Polyterra is getting okay. Well, I'll explain this since I am Miss Ambassador of Polymaker here. So Polymaker has made some changes for good reasons to help people navigate and find the best filament for their usage. So Panchroma is essentially the PLA that's I call it the fun stuff. So Panchroma is the new name for all of the surface effect and all of the the glitters and all of those sorts of things. So Polyterra is getting renamed to matte PLA. Presently, right now, there are two official Panchroma mattes, and those are the I actually have them both, the matte Lotus Pink and the matte Sky Blue. Now, as the Polyterra supply runs down, those spools will be replaced and called matte. But as you can see, everybody here in chat, there's a huge range of color in the Polyterra, and you have it's just perfection to me. I really love Polyterra. My very first spool of filament, this is not my very first spool, but my very first one was the Arctic Teal. So it's the matte the Polyterra Arctic Teal, and I love all of it. It's great to work with. But it was really interesting because I know a lot of people that that they're not out of filament. That's just they're transitioning from this Polyterra to call it matte, and there's a little bit of confusion there, I guess. But if you go to the website and you just click on old, it just means formerly known as. So it's like Prince, right? But there of course is going to be even more colors expanded into this range. A lot of people do print with silks, and one of the things that I'd really like to do as someone who does a lot of education in 3D printing is encourage people to explore all of these different filaments, including the mattes. But I have sent you ahead of time. I did send you some Starlight filament, and for me, Starlight is the one of the bridges between people who love silk and people who love pretty fun filament. So with Starlight, it is really nice, dense material. You've got great color payoff and all sorts of stuff. So anyone who does, and there also are metallic PLA Pro and other categories, but Starlight is a really great one if you're looking for that shimmer, shine, that Star Wars sort of magic. You've got the Starlight and also the Celestial, and of course the Celestial is very special to me. Do you know? Did I tell you this fun fact?
I saw you mention something with
yes.
your TIE Fighter. I feel like I can't remember exactly.
Yeah. So with my beautiful model here, I used all three of the current Celestial colors: Celestial Blue, Celestial Green, and Celestial Purple. When you are part of Polymaker's Discord community, you actually get to be a part of something called Awesome Squad. An Awesome Squad meets every Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern. And it is actually one of their panels to explore new products, to discuss products that exist and issues that people might have with them, and suggestions. We get to suggest colors. That's how we have the Silk Pezriwinkle, and K2 Kevin has the dark gray. It says DARK2 gray. There's other people that, of course, have custom spools and things like that. But when they were looking at this new color line, they were trying to find out a name, and so I actually named it Celestial. So that's my little story. And so it's really neat because it gives you Polymaker's really good at building community and giving people something to stay excited about. So if you are, of course, someone that goes on Discord, Polymaker's Discord is absolutely fantastic. You can share models that you're printing. You can talk about any problems that you might have, but they also have something called an application stage or application stages. So what that is people that are, and thank you for the new follows, people that are experts in their field. They do classes. They do hour-long sessions where they present something that they're working on, or present or take questions and answers from people. So it's a really fun thing for people to pick up new techniques, to learn. There's even people that talk about the business of 3D printing. Our friend Pete, that's probably in chat, he's the for example, he's a Lightbox ambassador. So he does a session where he actually starts a Lightbox from the graphic to the finish. And during that time, he's showing people the software that he's using and taking you through all the steps. Our friend here in chat, K2 Kevin, he's taught people all about maker chips. I'm not sure if you've heard of maker chips or whatever, but you're gonna, it's a thing at all these events. And actually, that's the other thing. So community. So we've talked about Polyterra / matte filament. Now that we know that it is your, one of your passions, another thing that I think keeps you going is your community. And let's talk about community while we take a look at some of these makes. We did have an early bird sort of present, like an opportunity for people, both from my community, Polymaker, and of course your community, to have an early bird that we had an early bird draw where people had the opportunity to win some Polymaker filament. But one of the bonus entries, hey Google, stop. One of the bonus entries was to submit their favorite make of one of your models. And that's actually something I'm going to do going forward when I interview designers, because we had over 50 people submit their makes, their photos.
So cool.
And for someone that designs like you, and of course I have lots of friends that are designers, to see someone's make of your model and to know that someone actually took the effort, like in the last week, to go download a file or purchase a file and select a filament and print it, and then actually have a picture of it to share. I think that's really cool. So you've mentioned a little bit, you touched a little bit about your community. I know that there's a lot of people here that participate in the Thangs contests, and they are griping. For the people in chat that are part of Kit Kiln, they complain about you. They do. They complain about you guys. But I've said to them many times, that is the whole point of the maker showcase, is that you as Kit Kiln and your community, you rally everybody to support everybody. And I think that is fantastic marketing for Thangs. And it's also a way of, a very good indication of how strong your community is and how, how vibrant they are. So we're going to take a look at these makes and talk a little bit about your community and how that works.
Yeah, totally. This is sweet. Pure black. I started the Discord. I mean, my Discord is my main way of communicating and talking to my community. I also kind of started that on a whim when I very first started this. I had dabbled on Discord a little bit before then, use it to chat with a few friends, or when I used to play games, chat with people. But then it seemed like more people had Discord on things, more people kind of had links to their Discord servers. So I thought, hey, why not? I'll start one. And me personally, as as a creator and a community leader, my biggest thing is creating a place where people feel like they can ask questions, where they feel like they'll be met with other people who are like-minded, who want to chat with them. My wife and I all the time tell ourselves, and we talk to people, we say the most important thing you can do is just to be kind. So that's kind of the rule of thumb that I try to create in my community, is just trying to be kind to other people. Just share information you can. Don't be gatekeepers with people. If somebody has a question who doesn't know, help them out. At one point you were there, so why can't you help each other out? And I think it's been awesome seeing, especially like you brought up, just in the last couple of months. I haven't given any incentive to anyone to post makes. I haven't given any incentive to anybody to go and like other people's makes, but it's been awesome to see just people rallying around each other and sharing. I love that one by Jedi Spuddy. I thought that was sweet.
Jedi Spuddy, it's awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet. It's been awesome just seeing it must have been the last 2 months probably, or a month and a half, maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but where we've had one of my models be the top. We've had at least 10 of the top 20 spots for the last several weeks, which has been awesome. It's been so cool to see people posting makes and doing fun stuff like this, finding fun ways to, that's okay. Just finding fun ways to pose their model and put it with something else, and seeing their own interests and hobbies come out as they put it on something or put it with something else, super fun.
I love this one.
I love that one. So fun. I think it shows, where people are at as far as their engagement with the content as well. I think that's another thing with the kind of the rise of bamboo and it being more available to people. I think there's been a lot of people who have, and I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing, but there's been a lot of people who have joined 3D printing with the idea in their mind that they're going to start making all this money all of a sudden running a print farm. So I think there's a lot of creators who have kind of aimed at that audience, and have made things that people may be engaged for, more along the lines of having a model to sell rather than a model that they would themselves display. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that, inherently wrong whatsoever. But I think it's fun seeing people engage with these models because they're pumped about the model itself. They're excited to share their make, or they're excited, like that blackboard you just showed. There's been several people who have posted it next to a real plane. They've gone somewhere and put it because they love planes, or it's been awesome to see people post it
And then
Foot
people
Thangs.
have stories. Yeah. And then they have personal stories. There's one with an actual plane. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. And then they have a story, like somebody shared in my Discord a story about like their grandmother or something who used to like clean the top of the planes or something. I can't remember the exact story, but it's super fun to see. Again, just to see people's kind of hobbies and interests come out in their mates that they share.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, Alex is. Yeah, that's awesome. And
One
that's
right
also
below that.
Alex
Go
is
ahead.
also a designer, correct? I think Alex is a designer too. I believe.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He makes
Yeah.
sweet stuff.
So yeah, that's the thing. I think the fact that you print your own designs, and yeah, there's things that you are definitely interested in yourself. That shines through. Because a lot of designers will design things that people want them to, but I think that even if it's the most beautiful sculpt, if the passion's not there, then you yourself, you're not promoting it yourself. It's your heart might not be completely in there. I know that
Right.
like I've mentioned Wexter before. He's had people suggest things. I mean, where is he? We tortured him for years about Jar Jar Binks. He finally did it because we wanted it, not because he wanted it. But but yeah, the fact that you take interest and you understand, everything that goes behind that too. Now, how do you think that starting out as a hobbyist with 3D printing and then going into design, how do you think that affects your whole process too?
Right. It's huge, honestly. Being able to start out as somebody who, like my very first printer, I built from the ground up. It really helps me understand how the printers work, and even now, like when I have bamboos and they basically take care of themselves. When I'm designing, I'm in the mindset of thinking not necessarily just how is this going to look, but how is it going to lay down layer by layer. I think I've told this to somebody who helps me. I have a member of my Discord who's kind of started helping me design some models, and as we've been discussing, it's been like I'm thinking as I'm designing, I'm thinking in 0.4 and 0.2. I'm thinking wall thickness and layer height when I'm designing, because that's just what I recommend people to print in. So it's been huge coming from that side of things, kind of it being more of a hobby at the beginning when I was tinkering with the printers and learning more about how they worked, and now kind of using them more as a tool and letting them do their thing, but understanding how they work has been invaluable for sure.
This one is special to me because it's Decibel, aka Kieran Clark here in chat. He's the one I was telling you. It took him. He said the body itself took over 40 hours. 42 hours, sorry, for Wally. So Kieran is not really an OG printer, but he works with what he has, and as you can see, it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. So that one is special, very special to me because I saw it on MakerDeck being printed from start to finish. So yeah, totally. And the fact that you're able to do that with your models is pretty awesome.
Is that the one that was printed on the Ender 3?
Yes. I think what does Kieran say? Yeah, the CR6 SE.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yes, he put all the details of what he used. So he used Overture, PLA Pro Yellow and Light Gray. He's in Australia, so he also doesn't have the same access to materials as or his is different. So really interesting. Yeah. And he even put he used 4 walls and 15% infill to make sure the movable part stays strong. So
nice.
That's one of those people that you really want printing your things because he definitely puts all the effort into it. So speaking of effort, we're gonna do our first Polymaker giveaway. So, well, actually not our first because we did early birds, but this is the first one of right now. For these giveaways, it is global. So if you're in the US or Canada, you'll receive a code from me that you submit to Polymaker and you get a gift card towards filament. If you're outside of North America, then you get to choose. You'll get an email from Polymaker, and you get to choose filament that gets sent directly to you. So good luck to everyone! ! Ticket in chat, and we'll do that in just one moment. So, I know what I was going to ask you. What has been your biggest print fail?
Oh, that's a great question. With these particular, or just ever?
Ever.
It was probably in the very beginning when I had the larger printer and I would print helmets. There were definitely times, and I had no failed print detection of any sort whatsoever.
No, of course not.
So there were totally times when, like, I would send a helmet print and wake up in the morning and it was just a spaghetti nest. Yeah, just awful. I am very, very familiar with how to take apart and rebuild a Prusa hot end. I can't tell you how many times I have cleaned out.
As am I.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. I did that many times, and I had the jam stick to at least attempt that. But yeah, take it apart, and yes, my Prusa is going off to a better home, accompanied with a Revo though, so we'll see how that works for them, and nice. I wish them the best. But for me, someone said today, I think it was in my friend Pete's Facebook group. He has a Facebook group that actually a lot of Kit Kiln people are in, and it's called Multicolor 3D Printing. And someone said in his group today with the bamboo sale and everything, he's like, my hobby is 3D printing, not 3D printers. And right. I found for me, that's a huge part of what I do too, is like, totally. let's just print. Let's keep on printing. What can I print next? So right. Polymaker giveaway. This is done through Stream Elements, so we're not going to have a wheel here, but we can just pretend. Shoosh. And in 3, 2, 1, the Chad 75. Are you here?
The Chad, let's go.
The Chad 75. Congratulations. Make sure you say you are here. You are. Excellent. So we'll finish with that giveaway. And as we have, we did, I'm just going to confirm. Do we have that? We're going to set up another Polymaker giveaway. We'll do 2. And we may have a bonus giveaway too. So we'll see about that. Now, I love sharing and I love, being able to give people Polymaker filament. But you've printed a few things. Do you want to do a little show and tell?
Yeah, for sure. I was going to show this first. This is one of the models I released recently. It's the Ghostbusters. But I was going to show it just when you were talking about the range of color. This is all this is all Polyterra. All of it's Polyterra. Every single piece on here is Polyterra, which I was so surprised. I guess in initial thinking, I was like, there's no way I'm going to find a color for every single thing. But totally, super easy. This is the first time actually I used their lava red, which I love. I'm already obsessed with. I need to order some of their. I didn't realize they had like military red and the watermelon red. I need to order some more for sure. But yeah, that was all Polyterra stuff. I used the shadow one to print one of Fix Them Dude's kits. Turned out really sweet. This was my first time ever using the shadow as well. I thought it was a really cool.
It's really fun.
It's super sweet.
One thing with the duals or the shadow and the duals is if you do something that has a pattern, sometimes it turns out like there's some really cool things. Like I do Gridfinity. I print a lot of things with Gridfinity. Right. And even with the Gridfinity on the plate, I get a really cool pattern. It's a fun thing.
Totally.
And of course, you can find Fix Them Dude at fixemdude.com. He's on all the platforms. He's OG. He says sweet color. So there you go. Yeah.
I was gonna say I used the Pezriwinkle. This is a model by 3D Meeks. He's also a designer on Thangs. He's also actually somebody who helped me set up my office. He recommended like my lighting setup and my camera setup.
Oh,
so he's been
nice.
very kind. Yeah, he's been really helpful. This is one of his like what do you call them? Shoot, I can't remember what he called it, but I like trays that look like this. They're really awesome. Anyway, I was surprised by how much I liked this color. Because as you know, I don't super like shiny colors. My matte is my default, but I love this color. It turned out really good. This will probably go
Yeah.
out.
It's one of those things where a lot of people. I mean, I've given it to people, or people have bought it because they, I've talked about it a lot, and they are very surprised with the way that they like it. Also, Polymaker silks, I find. A lot of people when they start 3D printing, they buy the stuff that's on sale on those, on Amazon or whatever. And one of the things that people end up buying is that like 6-pack of no name brand silk, and then your first experience with silk is just
right.
And of course, silk is also, there's problems with being a little like hydroscopic and the tolerances and all that stuff. But yeah,
totally.
That color's special. Yeah, totally, his topology. Is it one of his topology trays?
Yes, thank you. Totally, yep.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. We'll link that here. And Karen Chow actually linked here in chat too. The other thing is, so you were showing your Ghostbusters. You've got all kinds of awesome models. And one thing that you're doing right now is a really cool promotion. Almost every designer that's in my stream, I do have a tag for them. So for you, until for the first 2 months, you can get 25% off a membership to Kit Kiln with the code SPOOKY25, and that's going on for another week or so
until Halloween night. Yep.
Awesome. So that's there. Make sure you click there. And also for anyone who hasn't tried Polymaker, I do have an affiliate there, but also you get a 15% off if you're in the US or Canada using Polymaker First Try. So if you're interested in trying Polymaker, and as I mentioned, their Discord is a very vibrant community. Of course, Kit Kiln has a great Discord, but Polymakers, you'll find that there's all different things going on there. And it was really interesting because parts of your community have started joining these Twitch streams. And I think there were like 1 or 2 people that are interested in printer builds. And my co-host on Mondays, Zombie Hedgehog, he had some people join his community. So there's a lot. I mean, it's 3D printing. It's cross-pollination. It's fun. So, yeah.
I was very impressed also, when I joined the Polymaker Discord, just to hit on that again. I was so impressed how active it is.
Yes.
There's like 8,000 something members, and there's a million different threads. But every time I go on there, it seems like everyone has a new message, and everybody's chatting everywhere. It's always a party over there. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and people there, I don't see gatekeeping there, and I see a lot of people helping each other for sure. Totally. It's I think everyone wants to make the 3D printing experience a good one. One of my favorite people and resources in 3D printing is Chuck Hellebuck, Filament Friday Chep, because a lot of his content is on optimizing your ender. And there are still people that will go to Micro Center, and I think they had it for $49 recently. They go and they buy that becomes their first printer, and that printer might actually end up being a project for them. And then they go and they get something that might be easier to work with, or they keep on, that becomes that is their project, and they're, a big part of their hobby. So it's really Peekaboo in chat, still running his. Yeah, layer by layer says no gatekeeping, just fun and knowledge exchanging. Like there's actually people that have met in the Polymaker Discord, and they are all working on design and learning design software, and they challenge each other. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about you doing these the contests on printables, and as someone who was learning design or honing design, I think you'll agree with me. It's a great way to get inspiration.
Totally.
These contests.
Totally.
And for anyone that actually loves 3D printing and doesn't design, one of my pro tips is always go to these contests even after they've passed and take a look at the entries. And you'll find that there are things that you never imagined. I found luggage tags the other day. I think on Maker World they had a contest there, a travel contest. I've printed James the Printer's toothbrush cover. He has items like that. But you'll find that you get inspiration on what to print from that. In between, your next Kit Kiln model, whatever the release is. But it's definitely a great place. So we've talked about your community inspiring you, the contest inspiring you, and everything. What's next? And I did see you make a small announcement on your Discord about some things that you're adding to the Kit Kiln family per se. So maybe talk about that.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of as we've grown, there's been kind of a more of a appetite for the models. I think there's been a lot more people joining, a lot of people excited. As I launched the Chunkables, there's been a little bit of a pullback and saying, hey, where'd the more intricate kits go? And what I mentioned in my Discord this morning was that I was fortunate enough to find somebody who's an amazing designer as well, who's an awesome guy who wants to help out. So he's actually I've been kind of getting him up to speed on kind of some of my design techniques, and he's going to help me going forward create the Chunkable line. A lot of the ones I've released so far, he's designed a huge portion of them. He's killing it. I've been so impressed with him, so I'm very grateful to have him.
Awesome.
So yeah, with that, hopefully going forward, we'll have kind of kits and Chunkables coming kind of hand in hand together. My goal is to be able to kind of have themed releases. So going forward, I think the first themed release, hint, is going to be a Harry Potter themed release. So there's probably going to be a more intricate kit along with some characters as well, which should be super fun.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So now that you have some help, I think, well, now that you are, you're working with some help, do you find that that'll give you less time in the office and more time for the balance then? But I know balance is really important in any hobby. So was that part of your decision process in that?
Huge, yeah. When I first started doing this, kind of more like when I very first launched on the Thangs, and just with how quickly it picked up, it very quickly became like a every night, 2, 3, 4 hours, and it hasn't stopped since then. It's been 8 months, and it's been 2, 3, 4 hours basically every night, which is totally. I mean, I love it, but I mean, at some point, totally it gets draining. It's difficult to keep going, as a side thing like that for so long. So huge. That was a huge goal to find somebody who could jump right on and who could help me out. Definitely.
Yeah. Balance. I think for all of us involved in any of these hobbies, it's definitely important. Right. So we've talked about filament. We've talked about, so you mentioned these, for example, Harry Potter and stuff. How far ahead are you thinking? And so what's your pace with that sort of thing?
Totally. I mean, honestly, up until this point, it's been like a weekly. It's been like I finish one. Okay, which one do I do next? Okay, now I start that one. And it's been like, as soon as I release one, sometimes even the same night of release, I'm modeling on the next one, especially just kind of as the bricks got right at the end there of the bricks before I had any help doing anything else. And then into the pivot with basically doing something completely new. I mean, I won't lie with saying the kits take significantly more time.
Yeah.
They're more in depth. They don't have a base to start off like the other ones do. So up until this point, it's been pretty ad hoc, just doing it as it comes and finding the ones that are most popular. I do have to thank my community for that though with my Discord. I run polls in there to ask what people want next, and I have like a request channel where people say things they'd like to see, and it's super active. It's been awesome to see people engage with that and tell me things that they want next. So typically it's just been, okay, what's at the top of the list next, which has been super helpful to have. A little sneak peek about the next model. This one will be coming later this week for free on Thangs. This is the front. Yeah, this is the front. Yeah, you guys can see.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so it and of course you know that when there's multiple fandoms, there's lots of interest and stuff. How do you find when you print something that's part of a fandom, how do you find a balance into best representing what the model is, and then of course putting your own touch on it? What's the balance there?
Right. There's been a lot of people in my community who have been very helpful in that. You know, if I don't know something, I'll typically ask. You know, somebody who like when I designed the A10. I'm not a history buff. I'm not a military buff. I don't know a ton about that plane, but there was a specific community member who I chatted with for probably an hour one night, back and forth, who gave me information on the plane. He actually sent me like some schematics of the armaments that go underneath of them, so I could actually design them to make them look like the real weapons underneath. So there's definitely been people along the way who have helped me. And I think, I mean, nerds are pretty usually vocal about what they're nerdy about. So I feel like it's not hard to find people who will let me know if something looks like it's not supposed to look, or they give me advice for things on how to change things. So, and not in a bad way. I think it's been very, very productive.
Yeah. And I know, I'm not calling you out at all, because this is me not paying attention to the Discord and stuff too, but not everything is perfect.
Right.
So I did my beautiful storm chunker, and I said, I want to make the head. I want to make the head. My favorite complementary color for the is lime green, but that head is never coming out of this helmet. No. So this was a quick feedback from community and a quick edit that I missed. But yes, Druid in chat says yes. We'll definitely tell you. So yeah, this was something that happened for. I think that is immortalized. It is beauty. It is perfection. I love this model. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. And I have seen things pop up on the Discord. Now, do you find that you have the any issues with the file system in Thangs? Because I know that a couple designers, when they edit something, it might not always get out there. So you use Discord to communicate with your members most of the time for something like
100%,
that?
Yeah. Whenever I make like an update or a change, I will let people know. Typically what kind of my flow is, I'll release a model, I'll put it out in the wild. Inevitably, there's going to be something that I missed. I think especially kind of inherently with the way I design, models can be upwards of 100 parts. So it's 100 small things on different beds with different colors that I have to keep track of. Inherently, there's going to be things that get messed up every once in a while. And I'm very open to feedback, and I will always change things that the community as a whole needs. So typically if someone says, hey, something didn't fit, or hey, I'm having a problem with this, or hey, I noticed this on one of the build plates, I'll just send a quick message in the Discord and ping everybody who's online at the time and say, hey, has anyone here had the same issue? And I'll just get some immediate feedback. And I'm so amazed at how quickly some people reply. There's always people on, always people willing to chat, give me feedback. And it'll give it to me. And if it's kind of a majority thing, then majority says, and I'll change it. I'll edit it a little bit and make it better. And then if it happened to be the one person, typically very quickly, everybody's very willing to help them. Help them work through whatever issue that they had in particular, which has been awesome.
Yeah, and this is a live example of how the plates are laid out. This is all the bonus colors and stuff. This is actually for the X-wing. Of course, I'm going to Liz the X-wing. So right. in my own colors. Yeah, this is an example. And of course, sometimes having multiple build plates is really, really useful, because then you get to keep all your parts in one spot until you build. Yep. Oh yeah, and this is actually one of my favorite. This was a gift from Jason from LDO. I love this for whatever reason. This texture build plate is one of my favorites, but
nice.
Super durable. And I use this for this is my TPU plate. Yeah, so yeah, it's fantastic. I love the way that you lay things out. The only thing I will say, and maybe I don't know, is it here in the notes at all? One thing that Lee Marie was Mrs. Lee Marie was in here. Keela, I can talk, I promise. Anyway, Keela was in here last night. She started to have a print fail. She has, of course, she has a bamboo, but she didn't separate it. She didn't separate the parts by objects. So one thing that you want to do if you are printing and you have the option to exclude objects is to split them into objects. So that's a little tip. Maybe we can put that in the instructions going forward. But that's
a super good tip. I should include that. Yeah. There's been times when like I wish I had that, and it's just because I'll group things together by color and then send like 4 different colors on the same bed, printing in like opposite corners. I was like, I wish I could have skipped just one part if like a part fails. Totally, that's really good feedback. I should include that for sure.
So we're going to do another Polymaker giveaway. And then we do have a surprise in that our friend K2 Kevin, he said if we had a level 5 hype train, he would offer either a Bamboo or Matter Hackers gift card as a bonus. So thank you, Kevin, for that. And so exclamation mark ticket in chat. This is your opportunity to do that. And while we do that, speaking of K2 Kevin, and speaking of all of these cool things, you have not been to a 3D printing event yet, correct?
No, I have not.
But you have, well, it's not in your backyard, but close enough to your backyard. The next major event where there's designers and hobbyists and stuff, that one is Rocky Mountain Rep Festival. So that's the weekend of May 18th, I believe. So that's the next one. We just had one a couple weeks ago, 3D Printopia. But one of the things that we have done at these events is our friend K2 Kevin attended an event and has attended several events, and he came back with all kinds of tchotchkes. And he loved them, but he's not a tchotchke person. So they all just sat in a box. And so he was sort of sitting there at his desk with a poker chip. And he thought, why can't we make that into something? So this winter, he created what we call the maker chip, exclamation mark maker chip in chat. And for example, this one is mine. So you basically have your name and whatever. And then on the back, there's a QR code that takes people to your website or whatever else, your Twitch channel, whatnot. These are super easy to print, especially, of course, with something like a Bamboo or MMU. But some people have done them in color swap and or even snap together pieces. So, of course, I've got gazillions of them here. Oh, there's QR codes. Here's this side. So I actually got K2 Kevin to design one for you.
Oh,
so
no
now
way.
you have your own maker chip.
Hey, let's go. That's so awesome.
I printed it in giant form so everyone can see. So right, Kevin, of course, the master of the maker chip, it might even, this is based on a Connect 4 board. Yes. But it also has a lid, so someone like me can't spill them. But yeah, so there is the Kit Kiln in maker chip form. Well, this is a coaster size of the maker chip, so everyone can see it. But yeah, Kevin went and designed that for you. And of course, on this side, yes, K2 Kevin's in chat.
Thank you, Kevin. That is the coolest.
We call Kevin one of the in-house designers. I have a few friends that yes, he's here. So yeah, so very, very cool. And of course, we can make that file available to you, so you can print it. I did do one in like a glow filament, and it didn't quite turn out as nice as using the bronze filament. Where's the glow one? Of course, I can't find it right now. But anyway,
I love that. I love that
yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So and this is called the what is the maker chip matrix, right? Yes, maker chip matrix. So you get to go in the little empty spot there, right beside our friend Gulsifer and above Connect Creator. So yeah, I've got a lot of these full because at the last event there were over 70 unique maker chips that that came out of that event. Yeah, so it is definitely yeah, it is definitely a thing that we're going to be doing at events from now on. So if you are planning on going to Rocky Mountain, start printing.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, because
do you say that you mostly use 0.2 nozzles when you're printing them?
No, believe it or not. Okay. This is designed. These are designed to be printed with a 0.4 nozzle. So cool. You can even see like our friend Silverback. His logo is just a tiny little outline. Even yours, yours is quite thin, and Kevin has his bamboo profile for the maker chip is key. He's developed his own technique. We have a whole episode of my show it's on YouTube and stuff about the maker chip, but he's developed techniques. So even it prints face down with the QR code up, and a lot of people are like, how do you get the QR code to work? But he's developed his own methods of doing that, and I think he calls it fake ironing for the top. And the other thing is there is a little bit of roughness for the QR codes, but then he's got his technique where all you do is you rub two of the QR codes together and it smooths the chip. So
nice.
There's fun stuff like that. So
yeah.
So now there's a Kit Kiln. And of course you can choose your own colors. You know, we sort of based it on the colors of your logo. I think I used silk orange and silk bronze. Actually, I used all silk orange, silk bronze, and then that's cotton white, I think. Right. Is it cotton white or cold white? I don't know. One there is polyterra involved, so you'll be happy with that. There has to be,
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So cool. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's part of bringing you into the community. That's what we love to do. We like to welcome people in. So
I was about to print his Thangs coaster today. I spaced it, but I'll have to print that coaster as well now.
Yeah. Kevin usually does. He's like the practical print kind of guy. Like this.
Totally, I'm very impressed with his. His stuff. I'm also gonna print his rugged, not the big one, but the smaller one. Yeah. I had mine, but I needed to print a new one for my desk. I just moved into a new office, so.
Yeah. And have you entered the world of Gridfinity yet?
I have not. No.
Okay. Yeah. It is its own religion, for sure. So totally. I love Gridfinity. Right. I don't put the magnets in or anything, but it does help me keep things organized. And it's kind of fun because Zach Friedman even made, of course, he's the king of Gridfinity. He even made a maker chip holder that's Gridfinity enabled. Nice. So it's super fun. Yeah, so
super fun.
Yeah, nice. and that's the neat thing. There's all kinds of that's one thing that I say to all my friends, like welcome in Macite, and thank you for your 1 year with pezliz. There's so many different designers, and there's lots of room to celebrate everyone. And I think
Totally.
it's really fun. And that's actually, I think, Thangs also has their Discord. I think there's things that they could do a lot more to get people involved in their Discord. But I will say that as someone that is not so much a designer, but someone that is involved in the printing and making things that people have designed side of things. Thangs is very receptive to feedback.
Totally.
They are also growing and learning as all of us are, whether we're producing content or producing models. And I found that their team is extremely communicative when it comes to all of that kind of stuff.
Totally,
So
I agree.
we're going to do another Polymaker giveaway. One thing that I would love to see, whoever is the recipient of the Polymaker filament, I always love if you tag me and tell me what filament you decided to pick. It's always fun. And also share models that you've printed in the filament. As we've said, of course, the Polyterra is Jacob's favorite filament, aka now it's going to be called matte. But so we're going to do that. And if you have not entered yet, you have like 2 seconds, ! Ticket, and we have another hype train. Now, normally when there's a hype train, we get a little silly. I know you don't have any headgear, so I will be the one that looks ridiculous. It's also that's part of being a streamer, so I'm gonna put on a little hype crown. There you go. There you go. So if you're new to Twitch, a hype train is where people give bits, or they subscribe, or they give subs, or they get involved in the hype of the moment, and it's just an exciting game of supporting people. Like Jedi Spidey. Jedi Spidey is a great friend of the channel. He also streams. We'll make sure we get him a shout out too. And he just gifted 5 subs to move things forward. Toronto Dan is giving some bits here. I see that K2 Kevin cheered some bits. Macite resubscribed. Pink cheered some bits. So everybody gets all involved, and it's exciting. But Kevin has said level 5 hype and another gift card will be added to the giveaway. So there are different ways to support. Just like, of course, you support Kit Kiln by subscribing to his models. You can do it by subscribing to the channel and all those sorts of things. Karen Chow just gigantified an emote that she actually designed. And Karen, I have my new shirt, and look, I've got the hex hearts here. Those are, of course, inspired by my hex heart lights. And my new shirt is here with the pezliz and the imprinting color, because that's what today's show is. So we're going to do this Polymaker giveaway, and then we'll open up the other giveaway, which may include bonuses if we get higher than that. And I know, as a designer, this is like, what's going on here? Why is all this stuff flying in Liz's face? But I'm glad that you got to watch a few streams so you could see a little bit about this. Yeah, it is a party. Yeah. Twitch and Twitch is also like, everybody's sharing and doing all kinds of cool things. There's people that are gaming. 3D printing is still, the making and crafting and 3D printing is still pretty new here. So here we go. And let's see who this, I love these usernames. So your name is Chainsaw. Something, Cam's Chainsaw. Let's call you Cam's Chainsaw with all those different things. Are you here? We've got a hammer in chat. Clown Hammer's in chat. Where is our chainsaw? There you go. You're here. Awesome. So make sure you exclamation mark form and quickly fill out the form to be able to claim your prize. So we are going to, while we're still hyping up here, we will open up the gift card giveaway sponsored by the one and only K2 Kevin. And he said, if we get higher than a level 5 hype train, he will add more gift cards to this giveaway. So thank you very much, Kevin. So this is, of course, if you're in the US or places where you can use Matter Hackers gift cards, it'll be a Matter Hackers gift card. Or you have the choice anywhere in the world, including the US, to have a Bamboo gift card. And of course, right now, Bamboo is running a big, I like how they started it on a Monday, a month before Thanksgiving,
Right.
a Black Friday sale.
And it goes till December 3rd.
Yeah, which goes,
Okay.
way fast. So, what do you have? What printers are you running right now?
I just have these two X1Cs.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I swapped out my two MK4s to these two, and I haven't needed anything else since, and it's been going great. Huge has been, again, I don't use the AMS for multicolor stuff, but being able to have 8 filaments at a time loaded, and then just being able to send whatever I want, multiple colors in a print or just one after the other, and it's super, super handy.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Kevin. I saw some. Oh, we're in level 3 already, so we're almost there. Dragonfire. Thank you for the bits. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Again, your chance to get some more, and maybe we'll even throw in some more Polymaker filament. So have even more of a chance. Yeah, Shrimp Father says having that many colors sounds great. It is. I have my A1 Mini has, of course, the 4 colors, and the fun thing with the A1 Mini is that depending on what I'm printing, I can, especially for hue forges, I'm able to swap out colors to have even more involved in there. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mrs. Lee Marie. Thank you, Grania. It's being able to switch out the colors. K2 Kevin, he just wants to give away gift cards with the 1,000 bits. Thank you, Kevin. I think he's just has too many gift cards to anyway. Thank you, Pink. It's fun. It's fun to have the ability to just hit print and not think about loading and unloading. And Steve L 3D, thank you so much. Holy hat, lovely bits. Thank you so much. We're having a seat. Stephen Poolin with the bits. Oh, I'll bring the drop game back up. Sorry, I forgot about that. For anyone that wants to do the drop game too. Shoosh. And we're into level 4 now. Big Jano's in with his hype emotes. And also if you can also just share all kinds of fun emotes and stuff too. That's what we do when there's a hype train. You basically cover my face in disaster. So have you tried HueForge?
I have not.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet, but the stuff I've seen, I've been blown away by how detailed it is. It's insane. Yeah.
There are some amazing designers. Thank you, Layer by Layer. Speaking of Layer by Layer, he actually did a HueForged maker chip. So Steve is a designer. He's got all kinds of cool models. He's one of the Nomad Sculpt group people. But he did a HueForged maker chip. So let me make sure. Yeah, this one's awesome. I have it the right side up now. The Great Wave.
I was gonna say, is that like that wave? Yeah, that's
awesome. It's the Great Wave. Yeah, it's really cool. And I always have on my desk, I have one of the earliest examples of HueForge with this medallion. And for anyone that's not familiar with HueForge, it's that thin. It is super thin, and you basically take an image into the software, and there's all different ways to work with the software, whether you want something some color pop or I don't know. There's all sorts of things. I was one of the early adopters of HueForge, and admittedly I haven't been able to use it as much lately, but I have been given some assignments because most of my HueForge designs are my own. Actually, all of my HueForge designs are my own photos. A lot of people use AI images and stuff, but I use my own. So I was able to do some really cool ones with pictures, Star Wars pictures from Disney, going to the Disney parks and everything. And yeah, it's really fun. So it'd be cool to see an integration with one of your models and HueForge. I know I've used different things for backdrops.
Totally.
And yeah, so and also, yeah, that's the other thing with the maker showcase on Thangs. As I was saying, we are in a level 5 hype train, so we just need a few more bits to keep on pushing through. And I will get the drop game working again. Sorry, I forgot about this. Shoosh. There we go. There's K2 Kevin in with more bits. He wants to see this go forward. Who knows what Kevin's going to give away? I said gift cards. I didn't say the quantity or I did not say the amount. So there's Pink. Maybe Pink knows. You never know. So what was I saying about HueForge? Steve L pushing it forward. Grania pushing it forward there. Toronto Dan. See, everybody's excited. And of course he says just one more. I'm not that special. Oh, you're not special. You are special, Kevin. You are very special. But yeah, so your community not only throws their support to you every week with posting makes, because makes do make a difference in those leaderboards, but also they support each other because they really are very proud of having, the top 10 models are your models.
Yeah.
But I've also seen in the Discord, and also I use my own sort of challenge. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Grania. I also see, like, even myself, I'm like, how can I take the best picture possible? And that's something I always challenge myself when it comes to things like that. But I've seen, like you said, the pictures of the planes, biplanes.
Totally.
I really love, it's Jedi Spidey that has the mirror image. Yeah, like it's so fun. It's so fun.
Totally.
But it would be really cool for people to use like HueForge backgrounds and things like that.
I hadn't even thought about that, Totally.
Yeah. I used actually K2 Kevin. He taught me a lot about photography. And he has some photography backdrops, and one of them is the Empire wall, the Empire design. So that's what I used when I did my Storm Chunker. So yeah.
Nice.
And I've talked a bit on this channel about how easy it is to take a good picture. You don't need. I use my iPhone every single time.
Same.
I use my iPhone and I have a light box. That was a little investment, but you can use construction paper. You can use outdoor light. I've seen Kieran's was beautiful. His Wally was taken outside. All sorts of cool things. Thank you, anonymous gifter. So we're in a level 6 hype train. That means if we keep going, we'll see what happens. You never know. But it's really fun. So you got on Twitch less than a week ago?
Yeah, I've been. I mean, I've seen. I think I may have watched people on Twitch like once or twice.
Yep.
Like in high school, and I haven't touched it since. But
so
now I've been on it probably just as many times in the last week, so it's been great.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the 3D printing and making scene on Twitch?
It's super fun. I mean, the idea of just having a place to chat with people, and kind of have a guided discussion is awesome. I love the maker deck as well. I didn't know you were part of that, but that's so cool that people can just post have their printers showing, show people what they're making. It seems like a pretty easy thing to get integrated into as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of work from the volunteers. We are volunteer driven, but I helped to found Maker Deck with Chris Perillo almost 3 years ago, and we've kept it going 24/7 for Actually, I can tell you right now. I'll just go into Maker Deck and I will do my. Let me see. It has been running for 2 years, 6 months, 9 days, and some sort of hours. So
nice.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Maker Deck, everyone is welcome, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. It is predominantly 3D printing. Bamboo has actually helped make it very easy for people to
Right.
share on MakerDeck, because at least with the X1 Carbon, the camera is already integrated there. A decent enough streaming camera is integrated in there. And yeah, we just, so I've been helping to run that for almost, well, what did I say? 2.5 years. And we have an amazing crew of volunteers, but we also have people that are designers. For example, Wexter has popped on there because he's on a different time, 5 or 6 hours behind. Right. So he'll hop in there in the middle of the night and share something that he's working on, a design that he's working on. We've had people do lots of laser burning, wood nice. Burning. We actually have someone that spins bowls. He does. We have an actual armorer from the UK, and he's sitting there doing armor. We've had people do nail art, like on their fingernails. We've had sewing, we've had knitting, we've had wool spinning, all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah,
that's just so fun. I've never seen anything but 3D printing on it, so I didn't know it was more than that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's for all sorts of makers. Yeah,
right.
And painting. Yep, lasers, resin. We have seen resin printers that slow dip in and out. We actually had, it's a virtual makerspace. Thank you, RC. He's one of our mods. Thank you, Zombie Hedgehog, for the bits. So we're still in a level 6 hype train. I will put on more ridiculous headwear. Oh, Star Wars. Let's talk about Star Wars. So you have lots of fandoms, but I do see that you do have a lot of models that are Star Wars. What is your favorite Star Wars movie? Let's go with that.
Movie? First. Oh, man. That's a great question. Probably number 9. I'm just kidding. just trying to see many people I can upset.
Oh, mine will upset everybody, so don't worry.
Oh, I'm excited then. I mean, probably Return of the Jedi. I just feel like it's. Yeah. I just feel like it hits, I don't think. Yeah. I think it has to be.
The Wrath of Khan, layer by layer. I actually think my favorite movie is Rogue One. I was a big fan. I really love that story. I love how it moves different stories. It encapsulates so many other stories. Are you a fan of the series too, like the different series?
I loved Andor. Andor.
Okay.
Andor was amazing. Yeah. I've never watched the Clone Wars.
Okay.
I'm probably giving myself away. I probably shouldn't speak about this. I probably should just say I've seen them all. I love them all.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
No, I haven't seen the Clone Wars. I liked Andor. I mean, I like the Mandalorian series. They're really good. I thought the Book of Boba Fett was okay at best. Yeah.
I'm a big Rebels fan, but I did not watch Clone Wars. So, and I have not watched all of Bad Batch. And I've watched none of Andor, so I have a lot of catching up to do. I'm losing my cred.
You say you've watched none of Andor?
None of Andor, so that's something.
Oh, it's good.
I'm planning. I when I had COVID, I should have just binged it.
Definitely.
Like I really should have binged it, but I have some catching up to do.
I feel like if you really like Rogue One, then you have to watch Andor. I feel like Andor just makes Rogue One even better, Yeah.
All right. So, did I open the giveaway or did I just say I'm doing all sorts of things? Let me look here. Oh, we do. So, we do have a giveaway for either Bamboo or Matter Hackers gift cards. We're going to draw twice here. And again, thank you so much to our friend K2 Kevin for providing that giveaway. Kevin is a great human being. He's not just the originator of course, the Maker chip. He's also, he'll probably cancel the giveaway now. He is, of course, the designer of something that I demonstrated when you were in chat the other night, which is the K2 clip. a filament clip. So popular amongst me. I didn't say anyone else, but I mean, it is very popular. But so popular that we have on two different Twitch channels, we have an emote. When it first came out, we were so excited about the K2 clip that we went a little overboard in promoting it. So, but for anyone that is new here, welcome in. There's Kevin with the K2 clip. See, there you go. So this is for you to manage your filament when you're not using it. So you're finished with your filament. You've got this end. Yes, you could possibly tuck it in here and say, okay, that's fine, whatever. But in time, it could fall, slide off or whatever. Silver Sunbeam, thank you for the gift sub. This is, yes, Kevin says not sponsored. So this is the locking version of the clip. So as you can see, it's got a little notch down there. And what you do is you pass your filament through the center hole and you slide it all the way through so it meets the other end. If you're planning on storing your filament for a while, or just if you want to be extra safe, you actually push down and lock the clip there. And then you come around and you use the top notch there and you hold your filament in place. So Bob's your uncle. There you go. You can store your filament, of course, on something like a rep rack. There's nothing that's stuck. A lot of filament clips, they're on the sides. Your filament is, right up next to the other filament when you're using a rep rack or whatever, or if you're even stacking. And so those ones that clip onto the sides, or even if you have it pulling through the hole, comes off. So this is your solution, the K2 clip. But Kevin is super helpful.
Can you leave it on, like unlocked, and print with it still like on? Like, does the filament go through it?
A lot of the time you can, but if you're using the locking clip, for example, and your as we know with the AMS, it can pull, then it might get stuck.
Right.
But for example, on the Peekaboo says yes, Tech Jeeper says yes. Yes, Kevin says in the AMS he'd take it off. But cool. For example, on like the Mark III or the Mark IV or whatever, you can leave it and it just kind of bounces around on top of the thing. But you always want to watch with the locking one, especially that it doesn't pull onto the filament.
Totally. Cool. That makes sense. Yeah, that's way cool. Super handy.
Yeah, super handy. Oh yeah, this is on holding this show. Oh yeah. So, of course, since this is a show that is sponsored by Polymaker, I just want to show everybody the new Panchroma. So, the regular filaments, they're still coming in the old packaging. The new Panchroma packaging. This is for the fancy PLAs. As heads, like they have materials with specific applications, finishes, whatever. This is actually the matte Lotus Pink. So the new name for Polyterra is matte, and this is one of the new colors, the Lotus Pink. So it comes in this beautiful box with the peacock feathers, and it is not available in Canada yet. It will be soon. I just happen to be lucky enough to have it. And the other neat thing about the new spools, and I think you'll like this, is they have been rounded. So the spool is a little bit coated and rounded, and nice. Also they're very pretty. So the Panchroma has a really pretty spool design, and of course I've already this has been used a lot, and I have it clipped. But yeah, it's really nice packaging. But for anyone that's still buying Polymaker filament from Polymaker's website, when it says old, it just means it's the packaging that they're phasing out. It is not old filament at all.
Okay, so two questions.
Yep.
You said it was coated around the things?
Yeah, it's very lightly rounded with a slight coating. Yeah.
Right, so it won't be like direct cardboard like in an AMS.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah.
Right, that's super handy.
It's more friendly for the AMS for sure.
Totally.
It's still recyclable and everything else. Yeah.
Totally. Are they gonna keep with like the naming scheme they have going? Like, is it gonna say like Earth Brown, Indigo Purple, or like electric indigo, muted purple? Okay, cool.
Yes.
It's just gonna be Matt
names,
instead of Polyterra.
Yeah, it'll be called Matt. And Matt.
Okay,
So
sweet.
Matt is just it just gets a new, like, but just pretend it got married. It has a new last name.
Right.
It's actually a new
Great.
first name, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're actually going to see even more expansion. The Panchroma will be available in the old colors as soon as the other ones are, phase out. So we'll probably see a couple more sales from Polymaker too. They had a really great sale recently, but that filament is still like they're very environmentally friendly and also financially friendly in that everything they're going to use up all the old spools first, right? They're gonna phase through all the old spools first,
Right.
and it's still lovely. But these are 2 new colors that were added, so that's of course a sign that there's going to be even more added to the matte family, which of course you're a fan of, and I really can't wait for you to try the rainbow. I did send you that, right?
I do have to admit, I tried it and it was stringy for me. I don't know if it was
okay.
If I needed to change my settings or something.
Yeah,
I need to try it again though.
Yeah, because this is done in the Polyterra.
Yeah, that looks beautiful. Yeah,
pastel rainbow. Yeah. I mean, everyone needs a giant rainbow Jar Jar Binks on their desk, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Of course. So anyone that isn't familiar, of course, you can be found. You're mostly on Thangs. You do have a couple models on other sites, and someone even said you have on printables. You might have had another username because I think Printed Visions printed a Vader of yours. In the past.
I mean, I used to be Big Bricks on printables.
Okay.
So it was there for a while. Yeah, but now I have the Kit Kiln like secured on Thangs, printables, Thingiverse, Colts 3D, maybe a couple more. But I post any models that I will have like free forever. They will eventually make it to all of the sites for sure.
Awesome, and that's a whole process too.
Totally.
Anyone that's uploaded a model, there's all these different steps, and you want to make sure that, and then every platform is different. So, but definitely in my chat here, !kit, and that links you to the Kit Kiln. CF Beanie says sub, the models are the best. And also, you've got an active Discord. People have the ability to provide feedback and suggestions, and great community. And we love what opportunities are available. So we are running on 2 hours now. Thank you so much. We're gonna do this giveaway. We're gonna do this giveaway next. So !ticket in chat if you haven't already. This is a wonderful giveaway from our friend K2 Kevin. !K2 in chat as well, and that'll link you to k2designlab.com. If you've never made a maker chip, we also have a tutorial on my YouTube channel, and that's also linked in all of Kevin's videos of all of Kevin's uploads on all the different platforms of the maker chip templates and everything. So if that's something you're interested in, and so here we go. I am going to close this giveaway in about 4 more seconds. So !ticket in chat. And if one of my mods wins the giveaway, then we'll add on a Polymaker giveaway. So mods, you are allowed to enter these. These are, of course, open giveaways. Thank you to Kevin. All right. Hi, Hutch's Makerspace. Nice to see you. So here we go. And also, if you've won the gift card in an earlier draw, obviously your second prize would be Polymaker filament. But good luck. And 3, 2. Oh, Winsing, you got in there. Quick. Last minute. We're closing the giveaway in 3, 2. Oh wow. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys are quick. Okay, closing the giveaway now. Thank you again to K2 Kevin for providing us. Wow, you guys. Okay, closing it now. I said I'm closing it. I'm gonna put my foot down. Shoosh, shoosh. Here we go. All right. So we have two winners for this. And our first winner is King Hat. Congratulations, King Hat. So again, that is either a Bamboo gift card or a Matter Hackers gift card. We have another winner, and it is 3D Elements. 3D Elements, congratulations.
Nice.
For some reason I think you won earlier, but that's okay. Yeah. If you won Polymaker Filament, that's fine. And if you already won Bamboo, we'll figure it out. And we're gonna do one more for Polymaker Filament, because of course this is a show that was provided to you by Polymaker, and we'll do one more. And it's Jay Brinker. Jay Brinker is a fan of bricks for sure. I know. There's actually another a Twitch streamer. His name is Astro Canuck, and I'll make sure to link you. He printed a lot of the big brick spacemen. When he got his 3D printer, he started printing the spacemen because he's an astronomer, and also does a lot of Lego builds on his stream too. The whole, you'll get introduced to the whole Lego side of Twitch too. There's a whole bunch of brick builders on Twitch, and all kinds of stuff. So Jay Brinker, are you here? I guess we have to check that. So yep, there you go. Perfect. Still 3D print, really want the Bamboo A1. Well, the A1 is on sale right now. So there we go. Normally what I do now is I take, of course I'm going to thank you in a moment. We take the stream, on Twitch. You actually, go and check out someone else that's streaming. We take the party continues. So I'm going to take a look and see, who's around this evening and who we might be able to check out. But, while I do that, tell everybody where they can find you, and what to expect in the next little while.
Yeah, totally. I mean, find me on Thangs, the Kit Kiln, Instagram, also the Kit Kiln. Everywhere basically is the Kit Kiln. There might be spaces in between the words depending on what platform you're on. I default to spaces in between, so I think only Instagram maybe there's no spaces. Anyway, we have models released weekly, at least one model a week. Join our Discord if you haven't joined it already. It's super fun. There's a lot of awesome people there. That's linked in like all my bios everywhere. So, and then if you want to try my stuff, just that discount code Liz shared before, Spooky25, until Halloween. Other than that, I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for chatting. It's fun to talk and get to know some people. Awesome.
So, I think I found our raid target. Let me just double check. Sometimes people go on breaks and do all sorts of things and whatever. But I think it would be fun to surprise someone that's got this is one of the things that we do. That's got a pretty small crowd in there and make their evening even more exciting. So we are actually going to go to someone that I met at 3D Printopia and is part of the maker and crafter community. It is. I'm actually not going to tell you guys. We're just going to go. So I want you to stay for the raid because you'll see it in a second. But we don't spoil it and let people know that we're coming to raid into them. We want to give them a surprise. So we're going to raid into Polyfo. He has like one of the little droids that he's built on his shoulder. But Jacob, it's been so great to actually get to meet you, introduce you to people, meet your community. And I want to thank you for your time. And also I've loved the conversations that we've had about the community and everything. And I want to thank my mods and everyone else that has been here this evening. And keep printing, keep making cool stuff. Stay tuned for my make of the X-Wing. Josh has his raid emotes already, so we're gonna head on over there, and hopefully we'll get to have you back on another time. I'd love to do like a designer hangout.
Totally,
with some
I'd love to.
some of the designers. Hi, Memetics. Welcome. Of course, we love Memetics. Memetics is always on my desk, so there we go. But just great to meet you. And
thank you again.
Thank you so
it was
much.
Awesome. It's fun.
Yeah. Merci beaucoup et à bientôt. We are going to raid out now to Polyfo. Thank you so